Hello, in this lesson we're going to cover some fundamentals that are universal to poster design in general and also specific to typographic posters. So it's important to realize anyone can design a poster, but what separates an amateur designer from, say, a true professional is the understanding of the tools and how to maximize them in relation to the project, and also a solid understanding of best practices. So when you're assigned the task of designing a poster, whether it be for a personal project or for a client, you have to consider the project specifications. So before you can begin the project, you need to know the size of the poster. Now, many print services offer a selection of sizes from which the client can choose and also provide with them the template files. Most often in vector format via Adobe Illustrator AI files, EPS, PDF, and sometimes Photoshop documents. Now in the case of Vistaprint.com, they provide Photoshop, Illustrator, and also Adobe Acrobat PDF. When it concerns working with documents specifically for print, there's a few things you need to understand. So let me turn on these right here, and we'll get into this when we begin designing. But basically, this is a template file provided by Vistaprint. And the first you have is what's called the safe zone. And that is right here in this blue area. So anything inside here, any design that we have, will definitely be printed. So that's called the safe zone. And then we have the trim line, which is this red line right here, which is the area that is intended to be cut. And then finally, outside of this, you have the bleed. Now, any type of design element that's intended to reach the trim area, such as backgrounds or other images, should be extended beyond the trim line to ensure there will be no edges along the trim line that go uncut. So the specifications of the trim and bleed zone vary from one print company to another. So it's important that you get this information before providing a print company or a client with any deliverables. So another universal concept in print design is RGB versus CMYK. So in most cases, vector is preferable to rastered images for print as they can be scaled up to any size without loss of quality. However, you can still use rastered images such as in Adobe Photoshop as long as your document size and resolution are adequate. But just note, raster file sizes can be massive. Now, when it concerns typographic poster design, there's a couple of basic fundamentals that you need to mind. So while you have much room to be creative, you should be certain that the type is visible and easy to read. And you can do all sorts of unique things to make your typographic poster unique, but if you go overboard, then your message or idea will be just completely lost. And you should also make sure that the visual presentation of the design is relevant to the message itself. So for instance, if your typographic poster is based around a quote about war, for instance, then the design itself should in some way relate to the idea of war. So this can be done through the use of colors, the type itself, or through other design elements. So in the case of our projects that we're going to cover, we have an organic produce company and we have the F in fresh looking like a piece of vegetation of sorts. And then for our web-based time and task management service, we're literally portraying the idea of getting up and working. So with that said, in the next lesson, we'll take a look at ways to gain inspiration through brainstorming and browsing other works. I'm Gary Simon, and I'll see you then.